How do you get over the fear of showing up on social media? It's really, really simple. Part of me is a tough love teacher, and part of me wants to say, yeah, just gotta do it. You know, Nike coined the best term ever, just do it. The other part of me knows that many, many years ago, there was a piece of me who was fearful and who was scared to show up on social media and who didn't know how much to share and how vulnerable to be and when to be on and what to say. And so I totally understand and I can absolutely empathize if that's how you're feeling. I will tell you also, after 11 years of creating content consistently, it does get easier. And now it's one of those things where it's almost hard for me to remember what it would feel like. But the good news is I have so many clients that are in this position that I know exactly what they're talking about, and they help me remember what it feels like. So how do you get over the fear of social media and showing up? And maybe you have resistance, right? You want to be a coach, you want to build a program, you want to build a course, you want to be an entrepreneur, maybe you already are, or a business owner, and you know that there's value in sharing content on social media. It's 2023. It should be no surprise whether you own a brick and mortar, you're business to business, business to consumer, it doesn't matter what type of business you have. If you're not utilizing social media, you're missing a massive opportunity. It's not that you have to do it, but like you kind of do. You gotta play the game. The thing with social media is that it's free, so you don't have to pay for it. Social media is a way for us to market for free. It's also a way for us to connect globally. So knowing that we should do social media, how do we get over the hump of that? Of like, I'm scared, I don't know what to say. Okay, let's break it down the middle. On the left side, we've got like tactical masculine strategies. On the right side, a little bit more of the feminine kind of mindset stuff. Start on the strategy. Number one, practice. I know that's like the worst answer ever, but action breeds confidence. The more that you do something, the more confident you're gonna be in doing it. So the act of doing it, of flexing the muscle, of going to the gym and practicing it, doing rep after rep after rep is the thing that's going to build the muscle. So there is an element of like, you just have to do it. You gotta rip the Band-Aid off and you just have to do it. Some of the cool things that you can do, especially right now on Instagram, when you're on a live video, it actually allows you to do a practice live. So you can go live without it not actually live streaming to your audience. You can watch it back if you want. You can kind of critique yourself on how many ums and likes and are you looking at the camera, that type of stuff. But you can also do that with Instagram stories. Like you can just hold the screen down and film it, but then not actually post it. So getting into the practice of doing that, putting content out. There's also the element of like, do you know the foundations? When you're super clear on who you help and how you help them, you'll probably feel more confident putting content out. When you've had clients in the past, when you've worked with people, you're probably going to feel more confident. The best time to create content is the moment that you either get off a coaching call or you get off of a sales call. But the moment you get off of a coaching call or like a strategy session or a sales call, you have fresh in your mind the questions that your client just asked, the pain points that your prospect just told you they're having. And so you can take all of that information and you can turn that into content rather than sitting, scrolling, quote unquote, looking for inspiration and getting sucked into the comparison game. After an hour, you just quit. Now you have nothing to say because you feel like, well, someone else has already said it. What's the point? I have a bigger audience. That's all gonna kind of be on the masculine strategy side. Like there's just an element of you just gotta do it. And you can start small. So maybe you don't blast out on every single platform. Go deeper on one platform, specifically the one where your ideal client is hanging out. So if all of your ideal clients are on LinkedIn, you really shouldn't be putting all of your time and energy into Instagram. So be really mindful of where your client is hanging out and where they're scrolling and where they're looking for help. Go all in and get really good at that platform before worrying about being omnipresent. Like it has taken years for us to finally get onto a podcast, onto YouTube, and be posting on multiple platforms. It's a lot of work, especially when you're a solopreneur and you're the one who's creating the content, posting the content, engaging in the content. So get really comfortable with one platform, how it works, what times are best, what days are best, etc. Now on the more kind of feminine, energetic mindset side of things, I say it all the time, but it's not about you, it's about your clients. It's not about what you look like and what you're saying, or if you mess up, it's about them and what they can receive. But also, if you do go down the path of OMG, they're judging me, nobody liked it, nobody commented, Carolyn from high school, Nancy, my neighbor, oh my God, what are they thinking? If you're making it mean something, I would encourage you to detach from that. Humans, right? We are meaning-making machines. We like to make meaning out of everything. You've done it, I've done it. So if you are going down that path of making meaning about your numbers, the vanity metrics, the lack of fill in the blank, followers, likes, etc. What are you making it mean about you? And that's a good opportunity for you to lean into that, to do the deep work on, the triggers and the meaning that that's coming from. I give the example all the time about rejection. So many of us are scared to get on social media, scared to put ourselves out there, scared to launch a product or a program because we're scared of rejection. So we think, but the reality is you have been rejected millions of times. No, I haven't. Like maybe once that girl rejected me, or maybe once that guy rejected me, or I didn't make a sports team. Yeah, but what about all those times that you cried as a baby and you didn't get what you wanted right away? Or those times that you wanted to go with a particular group of friends, but there were no seats at the table. We have been rejected millions of times, and we've always survived, right? We've been able to get through it. And so it's not rejection that we're scared of, because we've been rejected so many times and we've lived to tell the tale, but it's what we've made the rejection mean about us. That's what carries the weight. So if you made that rejection at a very young age mean that you weren't loved, or that you weren't worthy, or that you were never good enough, or that people didn't like you, or that you didn't fit in, or that you were different, or whatever it was, well, now you've been carrying that with you for all of this time. So of course, when you go to put yourself out there and do something scary and show up on social media and be vulnerable and share content and put a target on your back that you are being polarizing, you are open to scrutiny and criticism from people, you're putting yourself out there launching a product or a program that if God forbid nobody buys, well then what? I talk a lot about, Dr. Joe Dispenza and the work that he does because I've been studying him for so many years, but he always says your familiar past will sooner or later be your predictable future. Your past will be your future. The thing that you do, the habit that you have, the thoughts that you think, we think almost the same thoughts every single day and they're repeating. The things that you do and the thoughts that you have day after day after day after day after day, if you continue to do them and think them, you will continue to have the life you've once always had. It requires change. And so could you change your definition of rejection? Could you change your definition of success? Could you shift the way that you're looking at social media? You absolutely can, but it's going to require you to get a little uncomfortable. It might require you to do a little bit of reflection and work. There's the energetic, mental side of social media where, what are you making it mean? What's the big deal? Really? I get that it's scary. Now, as for how much should you share and how vulnerable do you have to be, you don't need to air your skeletons. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. So you can share things that you want to, you don't have to. But you're probably a service provider, a coach, or a consultant. People buy from people. There's an element of relatability that's going to happen why people are going to buy from you over a person next to you who's selling the exact same thing as you. Whether that's because of a trauma that you went through, or it's because you went to the University of Rhode Island, or because you have a dog that you adopted and his name is Montana, or you lived in an RV for 14 months, or you're from New York City, whatever it is, people relate to that. So you don't have to share everything. You don't. And you don't have to get crazy vulnerable where you're sharing all of this stuff that you haven't even healed from. But there's an element of social media that people are expecting you to be social. We get to use it as marketing, but the core reason social media exists, it was created for us to connect and be social, which is why we're supposed to engage with other people's content. We're supposed to like and comment. We're supposed to DM each other. We're supposed to follow each other. In fact, when you do those things, it snowballs and the algorithm favors you for it. So don't just get on and sell people all the time. Get on and give value. Get on and engage with other people. Get on and build community and an audience. When you're approaching social media, make sure that you're speaking to one person. I say it all the time. Yes, I'm speaking directly to your ideal client, but also you're speaking to one person. Imagine your ideal client or the person or someone you're actually helping or a current or past client on the other side of the phone. It makes it a lot easier rather than feeling like you're standing up in front of an audience of hundreds or thousands of people. It's just a candid conversation. Treat it like a FaceTime. It's a FaceTime with your bestie. It's a FaceTime with one of your clients. And when you can speak from that lens of singular, not plural, they're gonna feel that. They're gonna feel that energy. And there's so many strategy things that you can do too. We've got social media masterclasses that you can take with me where I dive into the secrets of selling on social media. But that's not what this is about. It's not about you, it's about them. If you have a solution to a problem, it's your responsibility to share it. Social media is a tool. It can be used as a tool or a weapon, much like a hammer. So be mindful of how you're using it. But remember, clock in and clock out. Change your relationship to social media. Having an Instagram account does not make you an entrepreneur. I don't say that to throw shade. Posting on social media does not mean that you're a business owner. It's not going to make you money. Social media is one type of marketing, and marketing is one department in your business. We've got marketing, sales, lead generation, customer acquisition. We've got customer support. You've got lots of departments. Social media is one type of marketing. Clock in, clock out. Come on, do your thing, drop your bomb, drop your mic drop, engage with people and get off. Don't spend your whole day on social media. Don't let it own you. You own it. It is a tool inside of your business. It is totally normal to feel overwhelmed by social media. It's totally normal to feel like you don't know what to share. It's kind of scary, but at the end of the day, it's about reps. Action breeds confidence. The more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll be. And there's clarity from contrast. So trying a post, doing a reel, trying a live, you're going to start to learn what's working, what's not working, what do you like and what do you not like. All right, with that, I'm gonna close it on down here. I personally love social media. It has been one of the best things that's ever happened to me because I've been able to connect with incredible people across the globe. We've been able to make an impact across the world. We've been able to make an income that I was able to retire Mike from corporate, and now we get to work together. It has introduced me to some of my best friends, and it has allowed me to be creative once I was able to put that story aside about, me not being creative and all. So I'm really excited to see what you do next. I would love you to tag me in your next post, in your next live, in your next reel, something that you put up. Let me know that you got over the hurdle, and it's not gonna be perfect. 80% done is better than 100% never out in the world. Always take messy action. As always, cheers to your evolution.